And welcome into the 6. We start with a Fox 5 News alert. One man dead, another in the hospital after a shooting in Northwest D.C. Police still searching for suspects at this hour. Let's get right to Regina Ureta live at the scene with the latest that we're finding out this hour. Hey, Regina.
Hey, Sharon. Yeah, well, this has now turned into a homicide investigation. Authorities have confirmed that one man is dead, another one in the hospital after a shooting that took place here in Northwest D.C. Now, right behind me, you can still see that crime tape. The scene is still active here in this area. We have detectives, D.C. police, and National Guard members who are still on 5th Street marking evidence that could include shell casings and other critical clues as they work to determine exactly what happened. Police are now searching for the person or people responsible. But I want to show you video of the scene when we initially got here. According to D.C. police, just before 2:30 this afternoon, officers responded to reports of a shooting in the 1300 block of 5th Street Northwest. When officers arrived, they found two men suffering from gunshot wounds. D.C. Fire and EMS drove both victims to the hospital in critical condition, but police have since confirmed one of them died from his injuries. The other remains in the hospital. Today's shooting happened just blocks from another violent incident in April when a 5-year-old boy and two men were shot near N and 4th Street Northwest. Several neighbors told us they're afraid to speak, saying shootings happen in the area far too often. They echoed concerns they raised back in April, saying that despite heavy National Guard presence, deadly violence continues. So here's what one woman told us.
Not so safe, though. Not so safe, but anywhere, like I said, anywhere we go in D.C., anything can happen. So just, you're take your chances and walk around and see. Try not to go when it's dark. And I try to take the busiest streets because I believe those are safer.
And authorities are searching for a white Honda with red markings with Maryland plates reading 4EV62664. Again, 4EV6264. That is the Maryland license plate. Anybody with any additional information is advised to call authorities. Back to you.
New video tonight of a man wanted for groping a woman at George Washington University. Police say the man grabbed a woman without her consent along 22nd Street Northwest last Saturday morning. Few details on the suspect at this time. Anyone with information is asked to call police. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and the interim police chief responding to a scathing report today on the city's crime stats. The Inspector General's report accuses MPD of a systemic breakdown in its crime reporting procedures. Both the mayor and interim chief Carroll say that steps are being taken to improve that process.
My expectation for any member of the police department, may it be an officer, may it be an official, maybe myself, is to make sure that we are accurately reporting crime, we're classifying crime accurately within the DC code. And that's what we're going to continue to do. We
take these recommendations very seriously. Chief Carroll has already begun to implement those recommendations.
The OIG report did not say MPD intentionally misled the public or represented crime data. The 6-year-old who nearly drowned at a UDC campus pool last week is no longer on a breathing tube. The family of Adonis Jackson says he remains in the pediatric intensive care unit where he is facing a long and uncertain recovery. Jackson was found at the bottom of a pool during a summer camp earlier this month. No lifeguards were on duty at the time of this incident. Several lifeguards and members of the UDC staff are on administrative leave as they investigate. For the third time this summer, a young man has drowned in the Potomac River downstream of Great Falls. Tonight, the parents of one of those victims is appealing for authorities to do more to prevent these tragedies from happening. Our Bob Barnard has this report.
The recovery mission for a young man who went missing in the river yesterday has ended for the day, is likely to resume again tomorrow, the third time this has happened here in recent weeks. Our camera was there as swiftwater rescue boats from Montgomery and Fairfax counties went back on the river today, looking as they did yesterday for a 25-year-old man who went missing in the Potomac south of Sandy Landing. A friend he was with was able to swim back to the Virginia shoreline and declined medical treatment. It's the third time this summer somebody has died in that same spot on the Potomac River. A 16-year-old boy from Bethesda on July 2nd and 20-year-old Nazir Bell, a Townsend University student who drowned in the river in mid-June. We spoke to his parents today. They're demanding action to stop this from happening.
It's just devastating. We understand it's protected land. There is no reason that the officials can't do more. There are signs. There's not enough signs. You know, you spend more time patrolling the water trying to find somebody than patrolling the water to keep people out of it. I mean, we want Fairfax and Montgomery County to do more.
These kids they're thinking that they're going to have fun. That's it. They're not, they don't think about the dangers. They're just thinking about exploring some, time to have fun. And so how do we prevent another life from going under, and how do we prevent this from happening?
We're told the National Park Service has increased the number of warning signs along the trails adjacent to the river, and Montgomery County Fire and Rescue officials say they do have boats on the water for several hours on Saturdays during the summer, and also when they train, warning people they see along the shoreline.
And we take that opportunity to go out and talk to them about water safety, about the legality of entering the river, which it is illegal to enter the river below the falls. That area of the river is off limits. And then we talk to them about the dangers of the river, because most people don't seem to realize exactly how dangerous the Potomac River is.
The assistant fire chief says kayaking, canoeing, even paddleboarding is allowed on the river, just not swimming. And he says they're likely to soon take their message about the dangers of the river into the schools.
Turning our attention now to the weather. Cleanup continues across the DMV after yesterday's severe weather. Heavy winds toppling trees, causing serious damage to some local homes and businesses. The National Weather Service has confirmed a tornado touchdown in Talbot County yesterday, and it has been a complete 180 for the conditions today. A live look outside of our station in Bethesda, Maryland. Just a really beautiful day as we get closer to the end of the week. Caitlin Roth, what a difference 24 hours makes. I mean, thankfully, hopefully people stayed safe, because it was wild yesterday.
It was. We just found out a second confirmed tornado north of Annapolis, and that was an EF1. So, I mean, for our area, that's pretty significant. So with the two tornadoes and a lot of straight line wind damage, I know, it was a busy night. So we are thankful it's much quieter tonight, Sharon.
Are we out of the woods now going forward?
Yes, at least for the rest of the week and into the weekend, which is good. Interestingly, last week, Tuesday, was our busy severe weather day, too. Multiple tornadoes reported across West Virginia. That was just a week ago. And then last night, the two confirmations out of Maryland. As we get into the rest of the week, though, nice end to July. August begins on Saturday, and it will at least be a little bit quieter. 85 was the high temperature today. Nice day. Honestly, things were more refreshing. The humidity dropped. Sun this morning gave way to a little cloud cover this afternoon, but it was very comfortable. Month to date, 3.58 inches of rain here at Reagan National. We got a little less than you'd think last night, just over a third of an inch. Those were some quick moving storms. So only in the mid to upper 70s north and west, low to mid 80s to the south and east, 83 here in D.C. Dew points generally in the low 60s, some upper 50s north and west, indicating that drier air. There's been a decent amount of cloud cover, even a couple showers in northeastern Maryland, as we are just on the backside of low pressure, which kind of got stuck off to our north and east. And we are kind of on the backside of the fringe effect, getting some of those fringe effects. So again, the confirmed tornadoes, one we knew about last night in Talbot County, Maryland. That's on the eastern shore near the town of Trapp. And then what just was confirmed today after the survey crews went out, that EF1 in Lakeshore. There was a warning for Anne Arundel County. It was right along the water there near Pasadena. Some damage, EF1. 70 degrees for tonight. Few passing clouds and a much quieter weather pattern here. Tomorrow looks great. Sun and clouds with those temperatures in the mid 80s. I'll have more on the weekend coming up. Sharon?
All right.
It's an impossible airport. You get off a bus, you go into a train, you get from a train, you get onto another bus. It's a worse airport.
President Trump calls Dulles International a terrible airport as he unveils a $22 billion makeover plan for the site. Caitlin Norwood was in the Oval Office for that announcement and has those details from the White House.
President Donald Trump making the announcement in the Oval Office alongside the Transportation Secretary. He called the modernization of the Dulles Airport sorely needed. This comes after months of reportedly reviewing different designs from more than 30 architects.
We are announcing plans to add more than 5 million square feet of new or renovated space will replace the current C and D concourses, which are basic disasters, all the while preserving the iconic original terminal.
The $22.5 billion renovation involves getting rid of the mobile lounges, also known as people movers. Expect several new terminals with a new parking garage with 32,000 spaces next to the main terminal. There will also be a new U-shaped underground aero train to give easier access to gates, as well as additional moving sidewalks. There's already construction at Dulles for the new Concourse E funded by a Biden-era law, but officials say the new Trump-backed changes won't require any federal funding. Instead, will come through MWA bonds, with airlines paying for it. I asked the president in the Oval Office about his reason behind all the recent changes to the DMV.
This is just one of several projects that you have underway in the DMV. Why would you say that you're so focused on transforming the Washington region right now?
Well, this is an important one. This is travel. So in terms of the importance, I think the Arc is going to be incredible. I think the protected ballroom and military center that we're building at the White House is going to be unbelievable. It's very important. But, this is the airport. This is sort of the lifeblood of a city or a capital, certainly a capital. And this will go from one of the worst, just like Washington. Washington was one of the worst places in this country, and now it's one of the best.
Officials say they can make the changes at Dulles with very little disruption, and they think that they can begin construction as soon as next spring. Reporting from the White House, I'm Kaylin Norwood.